What's up, everybody? I got the member of Pure here, the man himself, Kyle Elamite Warrior. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good to hear. Now, Kyle, I brought you in here because, you know, I've missed you. You haven't been in the booth in quite a long time. You're actually in the booth when I first got in the booth, so that was good to have you here. So, you know, bringing back old memories. And now, everyone wants to know, how's your team doing? You've yet to really, you know, play on the main stage besides that 10 a.m. match this morning versus the amateur team.
Right now, we're 1-2 in our bracket. It's not what we're hoping for, but all of our games and all of our losses have been extremely close. So we know we have the potential, and assuming we can bring it when the actual tournament bracket starts, we should be all right.
Now, you were talking to me earlier, and well, just before this started, and you said if you beat status quo, there will be a three-way tie for second?
I believe so. I believe it'll be a three-way tie. I think it comes down to match win and loss ratio, but I don't know how we're faring in that area.
Gotcha. So now you will be going up against your brother, a little bit of grudge match there, and he's kind of had the best of you know, the Elam family love here. You know, he's been doing a little bit better this event.
Yeah, he started at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. Status Quo's been doing great, and he's really been showing off his skill and performing really well.
Yeah.
So I love playing against him. It's always a fun match, you know, little brotherly competition. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
They always exist, man. So now tell me, Kyle, you know, we have King of the Hill back. It's sometimes the game 3, it's sometimes game 1. Which one do you prefer? Do you like it starting off the series with King of the Hill, or do you kind of like it as that game 3, the very old cliche way?
I like it the old cliche way. Game 3, it seems to work really well. Game 1, you start off with the flag game. There's a lot of just, you know, back and forth competition, you know, generally lots of snipers on the map, things like that. I generally like it the capture the flag game 1 and King of the Hill game 3.
So when you're going into the King of the Hill, I mean, when it's game 1, do you feel like you get warmed up in that sense, or would you rather just have that constant battle of just trying to get the flag and just continuing to warm up? Because King of the Hill is kind of, in this game, is more like a bait. You know, you get in the hill for a little bit, and then you like let them come in, and then you come around them, kind of like the green room strategy in Halo 2. So which one do you think, you know, makes you warm up more?
I think capture the flag would make me warm up more. You have the possibility of it going into overtime, as well as the battles are kind of taking place all over the map with flagpoles happening. King of the Hill games, all the battles and everything is focused around where the hill's moving to or where the hill actually is, and then sometimes where the power weapons are spotted.
All right, well, map number 1, I am not sure what it's going to be, but we have Believe the Hype taking on Active Rush. Now, Believe the Hype, we all expected to kind of come out and do very well. Shockwave actually predicted them to win Pool D. I picked Dynasty. So, you know, really, what is it about these guys that, you know, made them lose to Dynasty?
Dynasty's a great team. You know, Formal was putting on a show last night.
Yeah.
Heinz is an incredible player. But it's not to take anything away from BTH, because they're a great team. And when you're at this skill level, a lot of it will come down to, you know, just like who's playing better in that hour of time period.
Yeah, and you know, it really does. It did seem that Formal just did better than Sniped last night. And it's kind of seeming as if, you know, the main Slayer is actually coming back to being like a big part of this game. You know, in Halo 3, it was kind of more like the whole team dynamic, but it seems like the main Slayer can actually dictate the game so far in Halo Reach.
Yeah, as long as it's just the one player, and as long as he's playing well, you can really focus around them. You know, like last night, Sniped put on an amazing performance and great stats on Oasis King, or Nexus King, excuse me. And you know, just like that, you know, back and forth, Formal, Sniped, both of them are great Slayers, but I don't even want to base it solely on that, because you got to look at the objective players and the decisions that those players are making too, which allows the Slayers to do what they need to do.
Gotcha. So now, if you had a favorite, you know, of one of these screens to watch, who would it be? And we'll start it off for you.
I'm down. Let's start off with Sniped. All
right, so we're going to jump into game number 1, and we will be jumping on board with Sniped. Game number 1, jumping on board with Sniped. Very standard here. We should see him pick up the sniper. He is known for a sniper. I mean, sniper is in his name, just minus the R. Now, he is your old teammate. Now, do you ever miss playing with this guy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a great player. I'm actually a teammate. I teamed with Cloud as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys had that awesome streak. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Man, time flies.
It does. It really does. But no, Snipedown is an amazing sniper, and when he gets hot, he's a game changer. There's only a few players in this league that can actually take a game into their hands and determine the outcome of it, and Snipedown is definitely one of those players.
Yeah, Snipedown definitely has that ability with him. Now, talk to me a little bit about Active Rush. Although, you know, I know Frosty and Sneaky Beaver and Alumni and Aries, like, vaguely, I just don't know enough about this team. Do they have the capability of taking this team down, believe the hype, or is it just going to be, you know, blown out?
You know, I think they do have the ability. Whether or not it's going to happen, that remains to be seen. But they're 4 good players, and I think one of the things about Halo Reach is any team can come out way more than any of the other Halos and have the ability to take down a top team.
Snipedown already connecting with the no-scope there. My jaw dropped a little bit here, but as I didn't want to interrupt Elamite, I only interrupt Shockwave because, you know, you hear him all the time, so just showing a little common decency here. So Snipedown's going to just kind of control around here. Oh, I thought he was going to hit that, and he is going to stay alive. Great play by Snipedown. Now, in this situation, is he playing this right? Should he be sitting, or should he be sitting in the rocks?
Like, as of right now, the map routes he's taking and the positions he's putting himself in, he's not sitting back with the sniper and statting, per se. Yeah. He's in the battles, he's making moves, and he's distracting the other team for his teammates. So he's actually playing really well right now.
Snipedown looking at his teammate's screen, didn't even realize he was alive. And that is something, you know, that a lot of players just can't really have. They have a hard time picking up on, like, how to screen watch with your team and just how to do that. So where do you think, like, you know, what is, like, the standard? Like, when should you be doing it and for how long?
You know what, that's probably one of the golden questions.
Yeah, it really is, because, like, sometimes you're like, oh, I'm going to call out for him, and then you get, like, sucked in because he's amazing, you know? So I was just wondering if there is, like, a standard, you know? Is it, like, 3 seconds or just you?
I think the best times would be when your teammate actually tells you to look at their screen. During battles, you know, it's really important not to miss a certain thing. It's like, I've had people run in front of my screen and you never even see them. So it's really hard to tell, but when your teammate's calling you, telling you to look at their screen, and you can actually play your own screen off of your teammate's death cam, that's like when it's one of the best times. Yeah, that is multitasking at its finest there. And it looks as though Active Rush is going to get the first clean push here. They are overwhelming BTH's base, but BTH getting a nice spawn in the rocks. Very standard here because they pushed through the sniper side, and now they will all be spawning rocks, and they will be shutting down this fly cap. And Snipedown has the sniper, but Aries does have the rockets, so they didn't, although 3 of them went down, they didn't lose complete control. You're right. One of the most important things in this game is preventing counter caps, and what Active Rush did here was they tried to go for the flag run, and it would have been great if they got it pulled at the same time rockets are coming up, but they didn't all 4 go down, and they were able to set up gate ring control and grab the new rockets. Aries is going to be taken out with those rockets. Frosty and Elumnite are the last 2 alive. Elumnite's going to be going for a push here. He is just going to be sitting ring 1 as Frosty is actually at the other team's base, and now he is forced to come back as Snipedown's going to grab another sniper. He has yet to not have a sniper. What the hell? Some players are just really lucky with that, and I think his team knows how good he is with the sniper and will try to position it around him getting it. Now, does that come, in this game especially, it seems everyone can do everything, but do you want to have that main slayer like Snipedown or Formal always get that sniper? I guess you can, but with the rate and pace that this game goes out, Snipedown with another great snipe shot right there. The pace of this game, it's so fast that you can't always rely on that. Did he connect with that shot? I think he missed it. Okay, good. That's good. All right, so Snipedown's going to be gaining control of the ring. He hears the call out and believe the hype will be the first on the board. That is 1-0. Now, so far in this game, we have seen, you know, kind of back and forth play with a little bit of ring control, and it's really just more about taking over the other team's base. Yeah. Is that pretty much exactly what Capture the Flag Sanctuary has turned into? Almost every game type and every map in Halo Reach is all about fighting in your opponent's base. It's not, because when you're fighting your opponent's base and you all die, you spawn in yours and you have another chance. When you fight your opponent in your own base and die, they're running your flag and going to cap it. Yeah, so there's really no more middle control necessary besides in Team Slayer. Capture the Flag, it's definitely more about just getting in the other team's base, because as soon as you get there, you can dictate the spawns. So my question for you is when you push Sniper, okay, on this map, 9 times out of 10, they will be spawning on the rocks, but you can't rely on that. So what do you do when you're pushing through and you get like 3 down? Does one person is just designated to look at the courtyard just in case? You know, you definitely want to be checking around all the time. You know, the spawn system, I'm not exactly sure how it works. I don't know if anyone is, but I'm always afraid. You always have those people spawn right behind you and back you. So it's always good to always be checking your back and paying attention to spawns. But hopefully, by certain times, you'll have a teammate that's pushing in further behind everyone that will have an angle to look at rocks or look at courtyard.
Well, Believe the Hype will be spawning in the rocks, and now because Elum Knight pushed through the rocks, they will be spawning in the courtyard. Not the best play because the flag was being ran there, but he wanted that kill. So it seems to be those little plays now. Theoretically speaking, we kind of have an understanding of how the spawn system works. Go ahead and break that down. I will put you on the spot. The theory. The theory is you will generally spawn away from the other team when they're in your base. Let's say they're pushing through Snipe Hut, they'll probably spawn rocks. But you also, what also factors into it is where your teammates are located, so you can spawn your teammates to some aspect in this game. Also, the death cycle. If you generally die on one side of the map, you probably won't spawn in the exact same spot. So if you kill them all in rocks, you can pretty much rest assured, even if your teammates aren't blocking that spawn location, that they will spawn in courtyard. Gotcha.
Or turret.
That is going to be Believe the Hype's second flag cap here. Really, you know, Active Rush is putting up a fight, but they just can't get one in. And every time they get it about halfway, Believe the Hype just rallies back and gets a counter cap. So are they just overextending, really?
They're probably, it'll come down to several bad decisions on a flag run. Like, they can get in their base, they can Believe the Hype on spawn, but they can't continue that spree and make it all the way, bring the flag all the way back to their base and cap.
Snip-down and Cloud hitting the same player. Snip-down was just a second faster, or a split second faster by getting that headshot, so he will be rewarded the kill. Cloud's going to delay running this flag because he is not sure where they are spawning. Cloud's going to be taken out. All members of Active Rush actually spawned under the turret, and they played it extremely slow, so a good heads-up play, but Believe the Hype is still able to run it, and just as I say that, Maniac is going to be taken out with the grenade, and Reliable just sniped the guy through the smoke. Now that's a player, you know, we still don't give enough credit to his Reliable. He has an absurd amount of talent, Kyle.
Yeah, he absolutely does. It's a relatively unknown name up until an event or two ago.
Yeah.
So he was teaming with Maniac, I believe, and then they united with Cloud and Snip-down and put together a real powerhouse team.
Yeah, now, when in between events, you know, we have this ridiculous storm, it seems, because everyone wants to form a new team. Now, were you surprised that Dynasty and Believe the Hype broke up in between events after they got a 3rd and 4th place finish?
I'm a little surprised. I actually liked those lineups before, and I thought they had a lot of potential and, you know, possibility to win. But a lot of players, like, team changing is so huge in Reach, worse, way more than any of the other games. So,
yeah, why is that?
I'm not exactly sure. I think a lot of the team changing, it just depends upon each player's last event's performance. So teams that break up and just reunite and, you know, get a good finish, they just decide they can combine those finishes together and increase it.
Now, the only team who really hasn't figured out the whole team switching thing is, of course, Status Quo, which is your brother's team. They kind of flirt with the idea, and then they're like, nah, we want to stay with them.
Yeah. I mean, they're a great team. They've been together forever. They still have a lot of potential, and they've already won an event this season. They obviously can win another one. So,
I mean, for sure.
It's gonna be interesting to see. Obviously, the roster locks are locked in for the rest of this year, signed for Providence, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Now, what seed do you currently hold on Pure?
I think we're the 16th seed.
I think. Okay. So you are looking for sure for a top 16 finish here to solidify your spot as the top 16 team, so you don't have to worry about going through the amateur bracket in Orlando.
Oh yeah, we're looking for a lot higher than 16th place finish. I think we have a lot of potential on this team. You know, it's a lot of unknown players, and that's the great thing about Reach. It's a fresh start, all new people. Anyone can come up to the top still, so we're hoping for a top 8 finish. Yeah, Try and Aptitude were really impressing me. You know, I know you guys were playing against that amateur team, but they still looked very, very solid. They put themselves in pretty good positionings. Now, when I called you, or when you called me in between events, you said, you know, we definitely can make a run for top 8, but it's really the ending of the games that have been getting you at this event. So, I mean, how do you work on that? You know, at the end of the game, it comes down to the last 30 seconds. So if the decision-making, the correct plays are done, then you win the game. And if somebody makes a mistake, then the game ends. So a lot of it comes with experience, and all we're doing is getting more experience with every game we play. Well, as we have been running our mouths, Active Rush has got their first cap. Elum Knight was absolutely dominating with those rockets in those bases. The rockets are definitely a very important weapon to have on this map. You can literally pretty much get a guaranteed cap as long as you use those rockets correctly. So with that said, where are you positioning yourself with those rockets? Are you waiting for your team? Do you start the push? You definitely want to get in their base. You don't want to take all the fire, obviously, as you're running in, but you want to get into their base, in their snipe pod, on their flag, get a couple spawn rockets on a spawner. When you spawn rocket someone, that person was just dead, and now they're dead again. They're out of the game for 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's huge in this game.
That's huge. So it's a 3v4 the entire time. So using that to your advantage, that's how you get easy kills.
And Active Rush members are sending 3 guys into the rocks of Believe the Hype. Believe the Hype is completely caught off guard. That is going to be 3 down. Maniac is the last one, and he is going to be taken out. All 4 dead. They will be spawning in the courtyard. Sneaky Beaver, Frosty, and Elumnite are looking for him. Elumnite doing a good job. He is just going to hide out in these rocks. And now, when all 4 of you go down, this is the situation where I asked Fastman, and he said, you kind of got to get lucky. On this map, when all 4 of you go down and they have control, how do you break out of it?
The first guy alive to spawn, well, a great triple.
Yeah, where the hell did that come from?
That's Active Rush, you know, in their base, not being able to set up correctly, not be able to position themselves well enough to take advantage of the spawns. But when you're the first guy to spawn, you're one of the most important things. The best thing to do is probably just hide and wait for your teammates. Like you said before, if the first guy that spawns, it's essentially a 1v4. Their entire team will probably be looking at you when you're spotted. So waiting for your teammates and get that 4v4 back, and then that's when you can get lucky and have a good breakup or breakout. You know, get behind them, someone do a flank, teamwork.
So the first guy is important. That makes sense to me. Because, you know, in the past, you know, that first guy always tries to used to normally go for position, you know, like try to get on a flank, because with Sprint, you know, they wouldn't necessarily get to you that fast. But I guess with Sprint implemented, it's going to make a difference. So that is fascinating.
And also with the first guy to spawn, he doesn't have Sprint for several seconds.
Yeah.
So that's even more important. Like, they can take advantage of that so hard that you have to, that first guy has to stay alive. If that first guy doesn't stay alive and dies right away, it's basically screws your teammates over on their spawn.
And you are intelligent, Kyle. If you ever quit, you are more than welcome to join me and be the washed up guy in the booth.
Well, you know, you weren't too bad yourself back in the day.
Yeah, that's the key word there. It's back in the day. Sneaky Beaver has a lot of ammo with this sniper, and he's really yet to be put it to use, as he was just hit by a grenade. He is now forced to wait. 2 of his teammates are down. Aries has no shields as well. He is at the opposite base, and Believe the Hype will be looking to run this flag. They're running a snipe hunt, and they are doing it extremely fast. Now, how do you execute the snipe run effectively?
Basically, it's the same way that any flag run works, actually. It's staying alive. Your teammate's staying alive. With Snipe Down staying alive for that amount of time, Reliable staying alive for that amount of time, it's a distraction for the other team. They're not shooting at the flag guy if they're shooting at you. So the longer you stay alive, the better chance you are to catch it. Reliable went down, and then I believe Snipe Down went down, or Cloud went down. So automatically, the entire team is going to start focusing on the flag guy.
And that's going to be the 3rd cap. Maniac coming on a very delayed flank there. He is going to be able to cap that 3rd and final flag. Great job from the Believe the Hype squad, really answering the call of Active Rush. You know, for the last about 3 minutes until that 3rd flag was capped, I was expecting Active Rush to make a comeback there. They looked very round and solid there.
I know. It's like I said before in Halo Reach, it's such an interesting game where teamwork comes down and positioning. Sprint just changes the game and throws a whole new aspect into it, where any team can come out and put on a great show and pick a game away like Sync Flag.
And taking a look at their stats, no real surprise here, as Snipe Down was destroying that game, going +12. On the other side, Sneaky Beaver, you know, 15 kills, 22 deaths, not the best, but I mean, out of the whole nutshell of that game, I mean, Active Rush really only had about 4 minutes to shine. It was really BTH dominating.
Right, yeah. When you have such skilled players, especially with some of the shows they put on with Snipe, it completely just eliminates some of the players from the game.
Maniac's going to take this stretch. He knows he is gearing up for Team Slayer on Countdown. That is a real nerve wrecker right there, but we will bring that to you right after this commercial.